We are back, and I am speaking with Bilal bin Saqib, currently serving as the CEO of the Pakistan Crypto Council and chairman of the Pakistan Virtual Assets Regulatory Authority. With the status of a Minister of State, Mr. bin Saqib is a busy man. He was at Binance's event last week. He flew back to Pakistan, then he came back to speak at Bitcoin MENA here in Abu Dhabi. And most importantly, he's about to talk to me now. As busy as he is, I hope he can get some rest soon, but I doubt it. Thank you very much, and let's start. Okay, here we are. To start, my first question is, you wear a lot of hats. You are the Minister of State for Blockchain and Crypto in Pakistan, CEO of Pakistan Crypto Council, and Chief Advisor to the Finance Minister of Pakistan. We'll get to all of those roles, but first, can you please tell me a brief history? How did you get all those hats?
You see, let me take you back for a second. I started as a student who mined Bitcoin in a university dorm room in the UK in London because I was fascinated by the idea that software could move value sort of faster than any government paperwork. And the curiosity never kind of left me. Became an entrepreneur, landed on the Forbes list. I've been building startups, building companies, worked across Africa, Gulf, the UK, Pakistan, and every time I kept seeing the same pattern that the next wave of global competition would not be fought over oil or manufacturing. It would be fought over sort of compute, digital assets, and talent.
Oh, please go ahead.
No.
You got into Bitcoin mining so early. How did you get introduced to it?
Is always a friend of a friend, right?
Yes. I see. Very good. Were you skeptical of it at first when you heard from a friend? You're like, this can't be real.
Of course, since 2016, 2017, I have always had critiques, and those critiques have just kept on changing. But I've seen a lot of difficult times, from being called as the scammer and the money launderer today to building a country's national wallet and strategy on digital assets.
Yeah, absolutely. You also became an entrepreneur very, very early. What were you initially doing for that entrepreneurial work?
I was doing strategy consulting. I was building startups. I was doing a lot of work in Web2. I was also arbitraging not just Bitcoin, but also talent that Pakistan has to offer as one of the biggest freelancer markets in the world, to helping them find better opportunities and build products based in the UK and the US markets.
Very, very interesting. Okay, so the Pakistan Crypto Council is a government-backed organization tasked with driving adoption and attracting foreign investment. Can you give me some concrete examples of what exactly this driving of adoption looks like, and how are you attracting foreign investors?
I think, sorry. Sorry, can you just repeat?
Yeah, no problem. Yeah. So the Pakistan Crypto Council is tasked with driving adoption and attracting foreign investments. So can you give me some concrete examples of what this looks like?
You see, so Pakistan right now has set up its own Pakistan Virtual Assets Regulatory Authority that has the mandate to become that single window operation that will incubate and accelerate crypto in Pakistan. Now, how will that happen? That will happen with a lot of clarity, because clarity attracts capital. And to do that, we are putting together a FATF compliant regulatory framework for exchanges, for custody, for broker dealer, where we want all great sort of builders and companies to come into Pakistan, hire the talent that we have to offer as the fourth largest freelancer market in the world. And to do that, we need to create an enabling environment. And that is, again, what we are trying to create by turning everything into clarity.
Very, very good. So regulation being a very, very important thing. Is there already, I don't know the state of Pakistan regulation, how developed is it?
So the regulation authority has been set up, and it sits under the Prime Minister of Pakistan. It brings together the finance ministry, the IT ministry, the central bank, the security regulators. It's essentially a place where licensing has a home. And the authority is being set up, and this is why what Pakistan did is brought everyone in this on the same table, because I strongly believe in emerging markets there is so much confusion, and everyone has an opinion without kind of trying or ever going onto on chain or
Yes.
buying anything.
Yes,
So
yes.
that was another thing that kind of really motivated me, that I have an option to spend time on crypto Twitter, and
Nice.
say spend time on crypto Twitter, learn everything. But then for me to put that learning into action, unfortunately, people who will be building that policy don't have the knowledge. So there's such a big disconnect, and this is
Yeah.
where you need more builders to be in policy discussions so they can actually bridge the gap.
Yeah.
Else, people who are creating the policy don't really know what DeFi is, what staking is.
Yeah.
So this is where we are.
Yeah. And you've been kind of, I would say, the person to push some of that knowledge that you have into the policy space.
Of course, because still you see a lot of policy roundtables in the governments and bureaucracies don't really understand this future of finance, and we want to regulate. So Pakistan wants to be positioned for 2050, 2035, not for 2015. But unfortunately, I don't think that the regulatory knowledge, and essentially, regulators, I don't think have truly understood the potential of what this technology brings to emerging markets like Pakistan, where you have a young tech-savvy population who's already living in stable coins, who's already on-chain. They are far ahead in adoption by any sort of government department or state department. So the government needs to catch up here.
Yeah.
Or when we talk about surplus energy, where we want to convert our electricity into digital gold, into the only non-inflationary asset of the world. This is why Pakistan has set up its own strategic reserve, because why had we done this a decade ago, we might have been, there could have been possibility we could have paid off our debts using the reserve that we have. So I personally believe the more you delay it, the cost of inaction is way more than the cost of action.
Yeah.
And the universe rewards action, not intelligence. So I don't want to be one of those intelligent policymakers or regulators who are going around in circles and circles and talking about the risks. I want to be the executor. We want to be the regulator that executes, that creates an enabling environments that fosters innovation, not hampers it.
Yeah. That's I love those words. That's what you want to hear from a regulator. Something like what you just said. Absolutely.
Well, I think the default answer for most of the regulators is no, but for us, it's to discuss, to learn, to take a leaf out of other books of Hong Kong, Singapore, UAE, to make a Pakistan first approach, where we can use this as a quantum leap, and actually, whether it's the 100 million unbanked people that we have, whether it's the illiquid sort of assets that we have in our country, we want to sandbox tokenization. We want to be known for innovation.
Absolutely.
Why? Because we have the adoption. We have 40 million approximately crypto wallets in the country. And this is without any classroom, any education, any framework. This is the tech-savvy youth of Pakistan. And this shows you that this youth is world-class. Then why should they be as back office staff building for somebody else out of San Francisco? They should be literally, they must have a seat at the forefront of innovation. And we want to convert them from back office staff to actually builders, building those multi-billion-dollar protocols. Why can't we build Uniswaps of the world or hyperliquids of the world? Why should we be the consumers? We can be the creators because we have the manpower. The country is 250 million people.
Yep.
The average age of the country is 23.
Oh my goodness.
70%
Wow.
of the country is under the age of 30. If Pakistan's youth was to be a country, would have been the 9th biggest pro-crypto country in the world.
Country of Zoomers. I love it. Okay, so the Pakistani Crypto Council also is trying to attract foreign investment, and I think that it's doing its job just from some of the kind of news I consume. Right, for example, Binance CEO CZ, he's a strategic advisor. Recently, there was a meeting with Binance CEO Richard Tang. Can you tell me a little bit about this and how did you court Binance and to come and become a part of
You
this?
see, this happened because Pakistan is no longer speaking the language of fear. That, of course, we had a lot of confusion, but that has turned into clarity. So we are speaking the language of opportunity, and I think the OGs and the builders, they really want to see this opportunity convert into a great case studies on how emerging markets should regulate digital assets.
Okay.
So I met CZ and the conversation was very direct that Pakistan has the users, Pakistan has the energy, Pakistan has the youth, and Pakistan has the need for digital rails. And Binance, of course, he's built something great. He's built the biggest exchange of the world. There's a lot of learnings that we can have. We want to do this in a very risk mitigated way. We cannot afford to fail because the status quo will definitely say that we told you this ain't gonna work. So Binance has the global expertise that we want to learn. They have the technical depth, the clarity, and instead of operating from the sidelines, we want them to come. We want CZ to come and no, not Binance. We want CZ to come and help us shape the ecosystem with us and create this case study.
Very, very cool. And good progress, I think, when you have a partner like Binance with such deep experience and technical ability. All right, so you mentioned some of the other things like the untapped potential of like power generation. So Pakistan has talked about allocating some large power capacity for mining and I guess data centers, maybe AI. What's this economic model? How is this going to work?
See, the Pakistan has surplus energy, and the surplus either goes to waste or become a fiscal burden for us. And the model is quite simple. We want to turn unused megawatts into productive digital infrastructure. We're building a framework where reputable miners, AI compute companies, and data center operators can build for long-term access to energy clusters in different regions within Pakistan, and they pay for the infrastructure, they pay for the power. The state provides the land, the policy, and the regulatory clarity. It is transparent, competitive, which means that the old rent-seeking playbook does not work here. And why sort of mining and data centers? Because I believe that every country is now waking up to the new truth that compute will define economic power in the next decade, and the way sort of the oil did in the last one, and we intend to take our surplus energy and convert it into digital prosperity. Pakistan has always been exporting rice, wheat, apparel, and human power. This is the time. This is a new industrial policy for Pakistan to export compute and bitcoins.
Very, very cool. Are you getting pushback or like I don't know, suspicion from people in government, or are they completely on board with this?
Well, I think nobody really appreciates change. As humans, we don't like change. So
Yeah,
this
yeah.
is the untrodden path, and history tells us that there's a lot of friction and there is a lot of grit and resilience
Yeah.
that you need. So this is why I think crypto has prepared me well in since 2017.
Yes,
I know a
absolutely.
thing or two about kind of sustaining the pressure and the down days.
Absolutely. I mean, 2017, 18, yeah, 100%. Speaking of like friction or people like resisting change, stablecoins. A lot of countries are wrestling with how best to approach stablecoins. You have countries like the UK who are thinking about putting like limits on stablecoins. Japan and others. You have the Lagarde for the ECB talking about how stablecoins are like an existential threat. And I'm talking about U.S. dollar denominated stablecoins here because that's what mostly they are. How is Pakistan thinking about stable coins? Is there a lot of pushback on this? Is there a lot of fear from like the I guess the government and also even like I don't know private institutions?
Stable coins are not a threat for Pakistan. Stable coins are an opportunity. They are a bridge. Overseas Pakistanis send over $36 billion in remittances.
Really?
Tell me a better use case of stable coins than these. They lose up to 5, 6, 7, or even 10% in fees and delays.
Yeah.
Now we all know there is a smarter way. There is a way where we can explore regulated stable coin corridors where banks, exchanges, fintechs can operate on chain with transparency. So they don't have to wait for the weekends. And this allows remittances to be settled in minutes. It reduces fraud. It reduces leakage. It broadens our tax base. It also gives the central bank real-time visibility into cross-border flows, which improve macro stability. We are already planning on starting pilots and then scaling. So my goal is kind of simple. It is to create Pakistan into the first sort of major remittance economy that upgrades to a digital stable coin settlement rail without compromising on our sovereignty, on our FX or compliance.
And this would be a dollar-denominated stablecoin, or
Pakistan denominated stablecoin with the Pakistan first approach, and we are also pushing for CBDC because Pakistan has its own realities. We have risk of capital flight, and we have, as I mentioned, 100 million unbanked people. So we need to explore everything. Something that might not be very famous and receptive in the West might do wonders for us.
And is the idea for this stablecoin to be issued by a government authority, or would it be like what has been done in the West by like private companies or institutions?
We are exploring both options. We are exploring.
Okay.
We just want to, again, regulations have to be pro-innovation. Why is it not that the North Star is to make Pakistan a case study, whether it's on stablecoin, whether it's on mining, whether it's on tokenization.
Yeah.
And we will do whatever is required to create that.
Got you. Are you worried about dollar-denominated stablecoins like the EU and in the UK, maybe Japan as well?
If that is affecting our foreign reserves, then yes, we are worried.
Yeah, I see. All right. Let's. I want to talk a little bit, getting towards the end, a little bit about you, and then maybe a topical question, since you mentioned crypto Twitter, which is awesome. I love that. Okay.
You won't have many regulators or government guys talking about
I know that's so
crypto
surprising.
Twitter because
That's
and even
crazy.
shit posting. You see,
Yes,
but
yes.
I've been in the space from 2017. So whether it's metaverses, NFTs, or being a degen,
Yeah.
I think I have a badge for everything.
Yeah. This is real credentials here, at least in my world, right? If you say crypto Twitter, that's like instant, like, oh, he knows what he's talking about, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so here we go. You're a Forbes under 30 entrepreneur. Now you're working kind of in the government, in the bureaucracy, in the belly of the beast. Has there been like a huge disconnect between how like entrepreneurs move, right? They move at such quick speed, or at least that's what everyone thinks. Crypto moves at such fast speeds. The government is not known to move at that kind of pace, and so has it been like a very difficult thing for you?
I think difficulty would be a very understatement. It's been a shock. It's been a cultural shift. Government is used to work and plan in months, and crypto is used to only seconds or milliseconds. So there's been a lot of frustration, but it's also a learning environment because in 2025, you see, now planning is not done in sort of 18 months cycle. It's in the age of AI. AI is the biggest neutralizer. Nobody is a specialist anymore. There's no government department that can tell me that our policy recommendation is correct, because I soon the moment that they print that policy recommendation, it's already outdated. So I would rather resort to my own AI agents and agentic workflow, and use this, because AI has far greater cognitive ability and capability than us humans. And this is the first time in human history that you have something that understands your language and can kind of guide you to be better at predictive analysis, better at planning, better at risk mitigating. But I think the government is perhaps created for the industrial age. Government
Interesting.
was created. This is a 19th century bureaucratic structure being done or being operated, which, that bureaucracy and the government was created for paper, power, and hierarchy.
Yeah.
I don't think that is fit for 2025, where data flows like oxygen in the blood streams and everything can turn into like a great neural network that can help you have a digital twin that can essentially show you what policies will mean before you sign that and impact the lives of millions of people.
Yeah. That's awesome.
So my take on government efficiency is completely different, is more on the dodge side of things.
Yeah. 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 I mean, I've often thought that like the current education system was designed in the industrial age, but yeah, government as a whole probably too, just needs to be updated. Okay. One crypto question. Do you have any thoughts on the 4-year cycle? Is it dead? What do you think?
I don't know whether you want the crypto Twitter guy to answer this or the chairman of the Pakistan Virtual Assets Regulatory Authority.
Let's just make it clear that I'm talking to the crypto Twitter guy. I don't know if you have any thoughts, or if you can even
I am
maybe talk
still
about this.
bullish. I am super bullish. I think we are still early, and I think we will see new highs.
Yeah. I agree with you. Well, thank you very much, sir. I know you're busy. I hope that you can get some rest soon.
No, I think rest is not for people who are born in crypto or kind of are grown up with crypto.
Exactly.
We need to move at crypto speed, and we need to create case studies for the world to follow, because that is very important.
Yeah.
This technology is essentially giving empowerment, and it's so beautiful where everyone can progress economically and have true financial freedom, and that is what motivates me.
Absolutely. And that provides your energy too, I'm sure. Yeah.
And energy, brings what? Mine's Bitcoin and energy. Energy is the real thing, right?
Exactly. Yeah, absolutely. All right. Well, thank you very much, sir.
Thank you so much for having me. It was an absolute honor and pleasure.
It was a pleasure too. I'm so happy to have met you. All right, guys. Coming up, we're going to talk with, forgot the name of the person, but it's the director of Bitcoin Magazine. So please stay tuned for that. Coverage, we're going to show you golden tickets. From within the Bitcoin, we're giving away free Bitcoin throughout this live stream coverage. First, download the self-custody Bitcoin.com wallet app. Throughout the coverage, we're going to show you golden tickets. From within the Bitcoin.com wallet app, use the QR code scanner to scan the QR code that will appear somewhere on the screen. Swipe right to automatically send the Bitcoin to your self-custody wallet. But be ready, be fast, because anyone watching can get that Bitcoin.
This is the Federal Reserve, a private banking institution that prints paper money and controls how much money is printed. Not backed by gold or silver, there's nothing stopping the Federal Reserve from printing as many dollars as they want. In fact, since the Federal Reserve began in 1913, they have printed so much money, a single dollar is worth less than 5% of what it was back then. In short, the dollar that you work so hard for today is worth less by the time you wake up tomorrow. This is inflation, and whether you realize it or not, you are getting poorer by the minute. If you want to escape, there is only one option.
In the last 7 years, the price of Bitcoin has grown by 50.6% per year on average, far outpacing stocks, commodities, gold, real estate, emerging markets, and bonds. At a $2.2 trillion market cap and growing, Bitcoin is now comparable to currencies like the Australian dollar, commodities like silver, and companies like Google. Bitcoin is here to stay, but as governments around the world print money and Bitcoin vacuums up global liquidity, it is poised to grow much larger. Here's how much one Bitcoin would be worth if it grew as big as a company like Nvidia. Then gold, or the US dollar, global M2 money supply, global equities, global bonds, and global real estate. Nothing can stop this train.
Did you make it, son?
Yes, I'm here. They took everything from me.
Okay, we are back. I'm with George McHale, the managing director of Bitcoin Magazine. Thank you very much for doing this.
Thank you. Yeah, thanks for having me, David.
Yes. How's the conference going for you?
Pretty good. Yeah, day 2. We're down the home stretch here. A couple more panels, and we will be done with another one.
Yeah, the last of this year, right?
That's right. That's right. Yeah, number 4. So the back-to-back between Amsterdam and Abu Dhabi has been pretty intense, but it's been great. Yeah, it's always fun to meet new Bitcoiners and keep educating people about what's going on.
Absolutely. So I just want to start with, can you give me a brief history of how you got to what you're doing here today?
Yeah, sure. So I first got into Bitcoin in 2017 and, just fell down the rabbit hole pretty hard. I have a mortgage background. I have a ministry background. And those two experiences, I think, led me to realize that the money was broken, that they can print infinitely, and really caused me to ask a lot of questions about, how does the economy work? And is my money actually my money? And why am I losing purchasing power? And that led me to Bitcoin. And so in 2011, I got my first job in the Bitcoin space at BTC Inc. Joined the team on the conference side and slowly started working my way up through the organization. And now I lead an initiative that I started. Actually, you introduced me as the managing director of Bitcoin Magazine. I'm actually the managing director of Bitcoin for Corporations.
Sorry.
No, that's okay.
Apologize.
I used to be the managing director of Bitcoin Magazine. I started Bitcoin for Corporations while I was there. That had great success. We spun it out. And so now we are a standalone business line within BTC Inc. So BTC Inc. has the Bitcoin Conference, Bitcoin Magazine, and Bitcoin for Corporations. And so that's the initiative that I lead.
Very, very cool. Okay, so you started with the events in 2011.
That's right.
Boy, I bet it looked pretty different from what it does
Yeah, we've come
now.
we've come a long way. I bet Bitcoin 2022 is when I started, so that was like peak of the last bull cycle, and so yeah, it's been crazy to watch it evolve and go international, and just kind of see the interest. See a president speak on our stage, a vice president. So yeah, it's been intense.
Very, very cool. As the director of Bitcoin for corporations, what is your remit? What do you do, basically?
Yeah, so Bitcoin for corporations, our mission basically is to accelerate corporate Bitcoin adoption. So we see more companies adding Bitcoin to their balance sheet, and we want to help kind of foster that through education, through advocacy. So we're basically building a network of these companies. So BTC Inc. partnered with Strategy, and so they're our founding partners, and essentially we're trying to apply the Sailor playbook across the globe. So we have 40 member companies now that are a part of our network, representing 16 different countries. And it's happening very quickly, I would say, and we want to see it happen faster. Even we want to see hyper Bitcoinization happen. I want to see hyper Bitcoinization happen in my lifetime. I don't want to like sit around. I'm not one of those people that's like, oh, Bitcoin's inevitable. We already won. We don't need to do anything. Like, no, I think we need to keep working, keep educating, and so we're doing that on the corporate side.
Very cool. I'm just curious, like, what do you think when you're talking to corporations? What is it you're doing mostly? Is it like advocacy? Is it education? Is it like execution?
Yeah, it's a little bit of everything. Companies come to us at different stages of their Bitcoin journey. So depending on where they're at, we provide them the resources, we provide them the distribution, we help get their name out. We help introduce them to different vendors in the space, different peers in the space. We host events. So yesterday we did a full day Bitcoin for Corporations symposium. So opportunity to platform our members, give them an opportunity to share kind of their perspective and some thought leadership. And so 2026, we're going to be focusing a lot on advocacy. We actually just launched one of our first major advocacy projects yesterday, targeting the sort of the MSCI proposal. I'm not sure if you're familiar with that, but
Yes. You can tell our audience.
Yeah. So MSCI is a very powerful, very influential company that essentially curates indices in the public markets. So think about S&P 500, Dow Jones. Those are indexes. MSCI has several indexes that they basically they create the rules in which companies are either included or excluded. So recently they put out a proposal that would exclude any company that has 50% or more of their assets on their balance sheet in Bitcoin. And we don't like that very much. We're not a fan of that proposal. They named 39 companies specifically in this action, of which 8 are Bitcoin for Corporations members. And so, we see part of our major role as a network to be like, hey, these are 8 of our members. Stop bullying them, basically. And so we put out a press release yesterday. We put out a new website that shares information. So your viewers can visit it, msci.bitcoinforcorporations.com. And you can read about sort of why this proposal makes literally zero sense, why it's founded on no logic, why it's completely inconsistent with any other standard that MSCI or any index has ever put out. And it's specifically picking on Bitcoin treasury companies in a really arbitrary, kind of random, strange way. And so, we're in a public comment period. So they are requesting, MSCI put out a request basically for opinions from the public, from investors and things like that. And so we put out our opinion, and there's also an opportunity to sign on to a coalition letter to MSCI stating, here's why this doesn't make sense. And so within our first 24 hours, we have, I think, over 100 signatures already. And so definitely invite people to join that action.
Yeah. Okay. So arbitrary doesn't make sense. So why do they do it?
That's a good question. I'm trying not to focus too much on the why, just because I think it's one of those things that I could spin on for. There could be a lot of like different theories and reasons, but I think it's one of those things where it's like the whole first they laugh at you, then they ignore you, then they fight you. It's very clear that we are in the then they fight you phase, and we're getting attacked from a lot of different sides. There's a lot of interest. There's a lot of money that doesn't want to see this succeed, and so I think this is just another one of those examples of kind of the legacy world either not wanting to see Bitcoin companies succeed or not knowing, how to treat them. It's such a new thing. It's a brand new technology that is very different than anything the legacy world is used to seeing. And so it might be that's kind of the generous read. It's like they just don't know what to do with it. The kind of the more adversarial read is like that there are strong interests that don't want to see Bitcoin companies succeed. So either way, it's illogical. It doesn't make sense to exclude an entire a class of companies based on the assets that they hold, right?
Yeah.
What's standard is you include companies in these indexes based on their operations and based on kind of more tangible things than the assets they hold in their balance sheets.
Okay. I'm curious. So for the Bitcoin for corporations, is it like mostly focused on one region, like America, for example, or is it global, or are there several like regions in particular that receive more focus now than others?
No, it's definitely a global movement. So out of our 40 companies, again, we represent 16 different countries. So we have companies in 16 different regions. And so this is happening everywhere. And, I think there's definitely a sense of urgency to be kind of first to an individual market. In the public markets, there's really not that many public markets that are, substantial. But there, even some of the smaller markets, we're seeing companies pop up and want to hold Bitcoin on their balance sheet for various reasons. I think we're kind of past this hype cycle period where companies would leverage the announcement saying, "Hey, we're going to get into Bitcoin," just for kind of a quick,
Quick
pump,
pump.
quick pump in their stock, and then they're like, you never hear from them again. So hopefully we're going to start seeing less of that and more companies that are understanding the fundamentals of Bitcoin and why holding Bitcoin on your balance sheet is kind of future-proofing your company.
Okay, I've got two more questions for you because
Sure.
I know you have to get on stage here. In a
No worries.
second. Okay, so the next one is: are there how is like regulation institutional interest in Europe compared to the U.S. right now, like from this like Bitcoin for corporations perspective?
Yeah, it's a great question. And obviously different parts of Europe have a little bit nuanced take. But Europe is challenging. That shouldn't be surprising to anybody. Europe is a little bit slower to make the distinctions and kind of clear the way for companies to hold Bitcoin on their balance sheet. We're making progress. We have several European companies that are part of our network. Obviously, we were just in Amsterdam a few weeks ago. That is now owned by Treasury, which is one of the biggest companies that's adding Bitcoin to their balance sheet. And so I think it's going to take a little bit more time. I think that the price, unfortunately, does influence regulators.
Oh, really?
Surprisingly. I mean, I think it's like you could look at causation or correlation, but it seems like when the price goes down, regulators tend to get a little bit more strict. So
it's their personal bags.
Yeah, it might be, and it might be consumer protection. It might be various things of like, hey, we gotta pump the brakes on this. But when things are going up and to the right, everyone seems like, all right, this is a great thing, and we want to be a part of it. We don't want to miss out. But that's just my theory. There's no like facts behind that. But I think that if we are in an extended bull cycle, we'll start seeing regulators surprisingly fast track things. That would be my
right. Okay. So corporations there are like skeptical as well, a little more skeptical than U.S. corporations, you think?
I don't think it's the corporations as much as it is the regulators.
It's just the regulators.
There's definitely interest in Europe. There's definitely a lot of companies, in the UK and the Netherlands and various parts of Europe that want to do this. It's just, how do we kind of navigate the regulations? That's why in the U.S. it's a little bit easier because of what Strategy has done. They've kind of cleared the way for companies to follow in their footsteps, and now they're 5 years into it, and so they have the playbook that you can basically just copy and paste in the U.S. And obviously, you see Saylor doing a global tour and having conversations with various investors as well as regulators to try and tell them about the success that they've seen in the U.S. and why this is applicable in any market.
Okay, last question. You can answer quickly. I've been asking a lot of people this, but what do you think? 4-year cycle, is this dead? Did it never exist?
Yeah, no, it's a fun question. I'm probably one of the psychos in the space that says, this time is different. I don't know how the institutional buying is. I don't know how the price at this level can be sustained with the amount of institutional buying. It's just like the math isn't mathing for me. So maybe it's not going to be the standard 4-year cycles. I think it's going to be less violent pullbacks, and I think we're gonna keep going up.
Okay. Well, thank you very much.
Yeah,
sir.
thank you.
Good
Thanks
luck
for having
on
me.
your
Appreciate it.
panel.
Yeah, I'll be on a panel here shortly.
Nice.
All right,
Nice.
awesome.
It was lovely to meet you.
Yeah, likewise.
All right, coming up next, our last interview of the day, Brandon Green, your friend, I'm sure.
Yeah, absolutely. My boss, in fact.
his boss, CEO of BTC Inc. Stay tuned.
We are giving away Bitcoin. How do you get it? Well, as you're watching this live stream, just wait for the QR codes to show up on the screen. They look a little bit like this. Get out your Bitcoin.com wallet, scan the QR code, and swipe it to claim that Bitcoin.
The safest and easiest to use Bitcoin wallet. Send and receive Bitcoin and crypto to anyone, anywhere in the world without permission. Now the best Bitcoin wallet for all your favorite assets. Buy as little as $50 of Bitcoin or anything else. Earn Bitcoin by staking. Access Web3 and DeFi. And now introducing in-app rewards, letting you earn free crypto just for using the app. Join the millions who are already in. Install now for free.
In this video, we'll show you how to earn Bitcoin, currently at over 30% APY, by staking Verse tokens in the Bitcoin.com wallet app using the low-fee Polygon network. You can also stake Verse on Ethereum, but for this walkthrough, we'll focus on Polygon. To get started, you'll need some Verse tokens. This is what you'll be staking to earn Bitcoin. You can earn Verse for free in the Rewards Center, or buy or swap into it directly in the app. You'll also need a small amount of Matic, also sometimes called POL, which is the gas token on the Polygon network. You'll be using Matic to cover transaction fees, which are less than 1 cent in most cases. Now that we have everything we need, it's time to stake Verse to start earning Bitcoin. From the home screen, go to Web3 Explorer, then select Earn Bitcoin on Polygon. Next, you'll need to connect your wallet. Make sure to connect your Polygon wallet that has Verse and Matic in it. Then hit the Stake Verse button, enter the amount to stake, and confirm the transactions. The first transaction approves use of Verse. The second deposits your Verse into the staking smart contract, and that's it. you're now earning Bitcoin in the form of TBTC, a decentralized, one-to-one Bitcoin-backed token. You can claim your Bitcoin rewards at any time by tapping Claim Rewards. Just like when you staked your Verse, you'll again need a little Matic to cover the fee. Your rewards come in TBTC, a decentralized version of Bitcoin that's usable in Web3 apps and faster to transact than mainnet Bitcoin. It's always backed one-to-one with real Bitcoin on the Bitcoin blockchain, and you can swap it to mainnet Bitcoin anytime. You can unstake your Verse anytime, instantly, and without penalties. When you do, you'll get your Verse back, plus any unclaimed rewards. And that's it. Stake your Verse tokens in the Bitcoin.com wallet app to start earning Bitcoin today, fast, simple, and self-custodial. Try it now.
Until now, fiat balances only lived on centralized exchanges and fintech apps. Not anymore. Bitcoin.com Balance brings fiat balances to the decentralized world. That means you can buy and sell with ease, but you always keep complete control of your crypto. Once you've funded your Bitcoin.com balance, you can buy Bitcoin and 50 plus cryptos in seconds. No more failed transactions, lower fees, and you can sell back into your Bitcoin.com balance anytime. Need Bitcoin fast? Just tap, confirm, and boom, crypto in your wallet. No waiting, no friction. Bitcoin.com balance. The power and security of decentralization, the ease of a centralized exchange.
We saw all of the exciting stuff happening with Dubai and crypto regulation. Their whole system is really trying to cater towards bringing more crypto innovators, builders, businesses, and just saying, we've got a framework, we've got a safe way to do this, and it's all by the book, it's all friendly, and they rolled out the red carpet for Bitcoin.com. So we saw it as a great opportunity to join the Dubai area and expand Bitcoin.com's reach into the MENA region. We're now operating out of the DMCC economic free zone. And I implore like every crypto builder, if you're looking for that legal support, the frameworks, the stability, and some support from banking, Dubai is still ahead of the US. You can't just fly into the US and be like, I'm setting up shop here, getting a bank tomorrow, ready to rock. So you can do that in Dubai. Moving is a pain in the butt, and moving companies is a pain in the butt. And if you don't have those like local contacts that can kind of guide you through the red tape, there's red tape everywhere, including in the UAE. It just felt like the Dubai entities and the DMCC really made that process a lot easier. They've got shared co-working spaces, office space, all the legal frameworks, all the VARA support, any of the legal compliance stuff that you got to do to just stay above board. They'll make sure that you've got that clear checklist and support you along the way, just guiding you through that process. The Dubai and DMCC guys, they went above and beyond. There was active boots on the ground, really like welcoming us. I can't thank them enough. It's been really helpful for us.
What if you got pages for exploring crypto? Read news, check prices, discover new projects, and stack rewards along the way. Over $1 million in rewards paid out so far, and we're just getting started. Download the Bitcoin.com wallet today. The wallet that pays you.
Do you think your crypto is private? Think again. On Bitcoin, Ethereum, and most major blockchains, every transaction you make is public, traceable by anyone, anywhere. What you send, who you send it to, when you send it, how much you hold, all visible forever. That's not just transparency, it's surveillance. Confidential assets on the Zano blockchain changed the game. Built for privacy from the ground up, Zano's system extends its powerful protections like untraceability, unlinkability, and amount concealment to any token. This opens the door to fully private financial tools. Imagine a USD stablecoin, but shielded. Imagine Bitcoin wrapped and transacted anonymously. Imagine enterprise tokens that move without exposing sensitive details. Confidential assets make all of this possible. And now, with the Bitcoin.com wallet, you can hold, send, receive, and swap Zano's confidential assets, all inside a single, easy-to-use, self-custodial app. Privacy isn't just an add-on, it's the future. Update your Bitcoin.com wallet today and step into the next era of private crypto.
I got into crypto last year when I joined Bitcoin.com. It seems like it was the right time because when I joined the company, everyone is into crypto, and I guess it influenced on me. And then I started to get into crypto, and then I started to buy, and then now I'm like a little bit of a DJ now.
So I got into crypto sometime in 2014 or 2016, I can't remember. But I was farming Ethereum. I had like 2,000 plus Ethereum at one point. But it was when it was worth nothing. It's like 1 to 2 USD each. So I sold it off. I made a good profit. But 7 years later, I could have become like retired. So the only reason we're having this conversation right now is because I should have held.
No, when I first heard about crypto, it was from my ex-colleague, and it was about year 2017. I was totally new and I don't know what about this. And then come to year 2019, at end of 2019, I was invited by a friend for a seminar, and that was the first time I know what is cryptocurrency and what is Bitcoin. I thought that it's very interesting into the technology and the blockchain kind of technology. Then I tried to, firstly into future trading and spot trading, and more into knowing about different exchanges, the wallets, and then into meme coins. So I then become so degen into playing or trading memes.
I went into crypto space at about year 2019, where I was working for an angel investor that is having a portfolio company in crypto space, which interests me quite a bit. So I decided to venture into this field.
I got into crypto while I was working with agencies on finance-related clients, and I always felt like crypto was this interest that I could never really speak to my colleagues about. So it's really interesting entering a crypto company where my interests in crypto become part and parcel of daily life.
So at Bitcoin.com, I'm the FP&A manager. I translate accounting data for the management because, it's just complicated. So the management wants to get insights, right? So I provide the insights from the data. So I'm kind of like a translator, so to speak. A financial translator, if you will. Yeah.
I'm the growth lead, and what that means is leading initiatives that lead to growth, whether on partnerships fronts or within our internal departments. I'm the compliance officer for Bitcoin.com. Basically, I make sure that we stay regulated in certain countries, and then we follow the rules and regulations that's being set off.
I'm finance director of Bitcoin.com, so oversee the accounting tax function as well as treasury.
I'm actually working in the finance department, oversees a 2 cost center, plus in charge of the revenue-related data transaction. Okay, basically for me, I have been in Singapore for more than 30 years, so I like the cleanness and the safety in Singapore. The environment are good. You have to mix around with positive people, and it's a hub for most of the Southeast Asia countries, most of the people internationally. Yeah.
I like living in Singapore because it is safe, it's clean,
and there's lots of food because I'm a foodie.
I would say because it's my home, I'm obliged to like it. Like, you can't really beat the safety and the cleanliness we have here with some of the things we take for granted, like the MRT system. I think the weather is very predictable, which is good. So a lot of people complain that, oh, Singapore is only rain or shine, but that's good, right? Because if you go to other countries, hey, suddenly you have a typhoon, a super typhoon at your doorstep. Do you want that? And also Singapore is also free from natural disasters. So yeah, that's something we take for granted. I'm sure a lot of Singaporeans have never been in a situation when the ground was quaking below you and you're just fearing for your life.
It's really nice to live in a kind of a hub where you have easy access to different neighboring countries. And in that sense, Singapore is situated similarly to a city in Europe, I would dare say, where if you wanted to access Malaysia, Vietnam, Bangkok, you're less than 2 hours flight away. My colleagues often say things like they like the food and they like that it's safe. I have no quarrels there. I've lived abroad. I've realized that, like safety is something that you can't really take for granted. Efficiency is also another thing that I will rate quite highly on that list, because when you live in Singapore, things just work.
If you're considering to live in Singapore, the advice is go explore the whole city. Avoid all the fancy restaurants that you see in the malls. Visit the local coffee shops. Visit the local hawkers.
I think if you want to live in Singapore, you have to be earning quite a bit of money. Unless you taper your expectations and live like a local, you can get a flat in HDB. I feel like a lot of foreigners, they tend to pigeonhole their choices into like, oh, I have to live in this area because this is the cool place for foreigners to live in. Oh, I have to spend this amount at like this upmarket supermarket, when they can be actually spending their money more wisely. So I've actually talked to some ex-colleagues. I've reduced their expenses easily by 60-70% by just making them think about whether this is a smart choice or not. So I think instead of phrasing it as earning more money, I'd be like, spend my money more wisely and don't be like compelled to think that you have to spend this amount of money just because, yeah.
The train will be crowded, so try to avoid those like the timing that at least like working hours time period, so that you won't be stuck in the crowd. Yeah.
The first thing to consider is find a suitable accommodation, because the rental expense is quite high. The rest of the stuff are relatively cheap and manageable. Probably they can also take a chance to travel around, because Singapore is quite near to all the neighboring countries, very convenient.
On a hot day, go try a sugarcane juice. Make sure there's a lot of ice in it. On a rainy day, maybe go for a bak kut teh. That's like a pork rib soup. It's really tasty. But TLDR, food in Singapore is really good. Please feel free to explore. There's no limits to the next frontier. Like, there's new tech being shipped out, there's new projects being built every day, and everyone just wants to do something better. I work with great people, and I dare say so because it's a very collaborative environment. It's very different from the types of traditional finance marketing roles that I've had in the past. Of course, things can get quite rough, and it's always very fast-paced. It's an industry that doesn't sleep.
Like, even people don't really know the industry, it's quite easy to go into this space, so you get to know different kinds of people from different fields. So it's quite interesting to know different people.
Because I love crypto, so I was trying to look for an opportunity into crypto industry. In my previous job, I will not allow or say so kind of a bit sensitive to talk about crypto in such a topics. So, but in the crypto related company, when I start to join the company, I feel like everybody is talking about crypto. Once I step into crypto, I would like to have like environment that people is talking about the same topic. Yeah.
I guess it's the people, because in crypto it's all about all these, I guess we're all younger and it's just more energetic.
I feel like because I'm a crypto native, it feels very second nature to me. So it's something I do on a daily basis. So I also have the knowledge to help people who want to get into crypto. In fact, Humphrey got into crypto through my recommendation, because I was insisting, no, you should onboard SJSX. It's like, no, it's so troublesome. I'm like, no, it's not troublesome. So one good thing about working in crypto is, yeah, you can expose your friends to crypto, But of course, what they do is their own choice, so that's another thing. But empowering is better than being ignorant, right? So that's my point of view. Yeah.
We're giving away free Bitcoin throughout this live stream coverage. First, download the self-custody Bitcoin.com wallet app. Throughout the coverage, we're going to show you golden tickets. From within the Bitcoin.com wallet app, use the QR code scanner to scan the QR code that will appear somewhere on the screen. Swipe right to automatically send the Bitcoin to your self-custody wallet. But be ready, be fast, because anyone watching can get that Bitcoin.
This is the Federal Reserve, a private banking institution that prints paper money and controls how much money is printed. Not backed by gold or silver, there's nothing stopping the Federal Reserve from printing as many dollars as they want. In fact, since the Federal Reserve began in 1913, they have printed so much money, a single dollar is worth less than 5% of what it was back then. In short, the dollar that you work so hard for today is worth less by the time you wake up tomorrow. This is inflation, and whether you realize it or not, you are getting poorer by the minute. If you want to escape, there is only one option.
In the last 7 years, the price of Bitcoin has grown by 50.6% per year on average, far outpacing stocks, commodities, gold, real estate, emerging markets, and bonds. At a $2.2 trillion market cap and growing, Bitcoin is now comparable to currencies like the Australian dollar, commodities like silver, and companies like Google. Bitcoin is here to stay, but as governments around the world print money and Bitcoin vacuums up global liquidity, it is poised to grow much larger. Here's how much one Bitcoin would be worth if it grew as big as a company like Nvidia, then gold, or the US dollar, global M2 money supply, global equities, global bonds, and global real estate. Nothing can stop this train.
Did you make it, son?
Yes, I'm here. They took everything from me. My money, my passport, my phone.
Don't worry, it's going to be fine. Did you remember the 12 words?
Yes, I know the words. Opera, fabric, terror, trash, if, void, country, engine, complex, new, fate, purpose.
When crypto leaders want reach and results, they choose Bitcoin.com. A global audience, massive reach across social, web, and mobile, engaged users who trust our brand, and campaigns that move at the speed of crypto. From press to podcasts, X to SEO, display ads to rewards integrations in the app, Bitcoin.com delivers exposure across every channel that matters. Our clients include the world's leading exchanges, wallets, and gaming platforms. When they need impact, they trust Bitcoin.com. Get your brand where it belongs, in front of millions. Partner with Bitcoin.com Media today.
So I got into crypto around 2017 during that cycle, that ICO boom.
2017, I was first introduced to Bitcoin. Actually, my first love of crypto was Monero.
I got into crypto in 2017, mainly out of desperation. I started hearing about it and basically, I'm like, okay, This is my ticket.
I got into crypto around 2017. Yeah, it seems quite classic at this point, but yeah, the big bull run basically got into mostly ETH at that point.
Discovered Bitcoin in probably mid 2016. Read all I could about it. Got really super interested in it. Put in a little bit of my money, and then yeah, just started building things for it.
I probably got into crypto around 2018-ish, and I knew about it for many years prior to that, but never really got into it.
I started my journey in crypto in 2010. Back when I first installed the Qt miner exe.
I'm a full stack engineer, mainly deal with front-end web, but I've had my hands in a few different parts of the code bases.
I am a media product manager. I basically handle a lot of the Bitcoin.com news media.
I'm the marketing operations lead at Bitcoin.com. I manage the marketing team, so we've got video team, designers, copywriters, and yeah, we're just trying to spread the word about economic freedom and our products, make sure that everything looks cool.
And right now in particular, I'm kind of building a new exchange product with some of the new cool stuff that's coming out in Hyperliquid, DYDX, and trying to figure out how to make a new decentralized product that still looks like a custodial exchange.
I have the pleasure of speaking with Brandon Green, CEO of BTC Incorporated, the person ultimately in charge of the event we are at right now. For our last segment of the final day of Bitcoin MENA 2025 and the last conference I will be attending this year, we will be looking back a little bit on the progress made in 2025 and looking ahead to 2026. And of course, speaking about our guests. Here we go. Okay, Mr. Green, thank you for doing this. I appreciate it.
Thank you so much for having me.
Yes, you must be incredibly busy.
I mean, it's been a fun couple of days, and honestly, it's been a crazy year. So,
oh my goodness,
it feels great to be at this point. It's the last event for me for the year too. So,
hey, high five!
Yeah,
go.
Let's go.
Yeah. Awesome. Okay, so to start with, can you please just give me a little history about yourself? What is the path that you took to bring you to right where you are today?
Yeah, I mean, it's been a cool path. I started as a young child. No, I got in the industry in 2017. I started as an intern at BTC Inc. I was moving boxes in our storage closet.
Nice.
For a summer. And I've basically, from there, have done every single job at the company. I've done, brute force labor. I've done ticket sales. I've done media partnerships. I've done programming. I've done editorial work for Bitcoin Magazine. And now I'm kind of overseeing the whole thing. So it's an exciting journey that I've been on, and certainly lots of excitement, lots of tears, everything in between along the way. So it's been a fun ride.
Nice. So 2017, you joined. A lot of euphoria then. How was it? How was your first bear cycle in 2018 where you're like, what am I doing?
Oh, it was brutal. I mean, I didn't know what capital gains taxes were or that that would be a thing that I would have to contend with.
Right.
So yeah, come 2018, when I, had to pay capital gains on my 2017, degenerate trading, I basically was just wiped out to zero. I was like, all right, time to start again. So it was a little bit of a wash, but it was also a great learning experience in a lot of different ways. Having that first kind of ride in the industry to be ready for what came next.
Absolutely. And I know you probably get asked this a lot, but I'm going to ask you because I don't know the answer. But do you remember your first introduction to Bitcoin? Were you skeptical about it?
Oh, my first introduction was my first day working at BTC Inc. I didn't know. I had heard about Bitcoin. I understood that it was a thing, but I didn't really understand Bitcoin at all until I walked through the door and started organizing the storage closet. So,
oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, I've learned from it on the job.
On the job training.
Yeah, exactly.
On the job training. All right, so Right. Let's talk about the events that BTC Inc. Throws. You throw the marquee Bitcoin events. How has 2025 been?
Phenomenal. I mean, this has been an incredible year. Like obviously, it's been a great year for our events, but that's really just reflective of how it's been a great year for Bitcoin, right? I mean, we've seen a new presidential administration come in that's gone from attacking Bitcoin and frankly trying to destroy the industry in the United States to one that is embracing it and wanting to become the global capital for Bitcoin, right? I mean, talk about a 180.
Crazy.
And that sort of sentiment has then been reflected all around the world. And so, in Hong Kong, in Europe even, and here in Abu Dhabi, you're seeing the sort of reverberations from that and a true authentic engagement in Bitcoin. And everyone's now, the game theory is shifted, right? Everyone's competing now to be the global hub for Bitcoin. And that's a great thing.
Yeah. All right. I'm going to ask you a question that is akin to asking a parent to pick their favorite child. So you can abstain from answering if you really, really want to. But what was your favorite Bitcoin conference event this year?
This year? Gosh. Yeah, I mean, it is really hard to say. I don't think I could pick because they've all been really incredible events. They've been a lot of fun. And, we've also had like some pretty amazing moments throughout them. And so, obviously the flagship this year was pretty nuts. We had 35,000 people. We had the vice president. We had a handful of folks from the administration too. I think that was a big moment.
Yeah.
So that one will linger for a while, I think. But they've all been a tremendous, experience and a fun ride.
Spoken like a good parent. Well done, sir. Well done. Okay. And as I would say, the Bitcoin conference is to events. Bitcoin Magazine is for like Bitcoin news media. And same kind of question. How was 2025 for Bitcoin Magazine?
Yeah, well, I mean, Bitcoin Magazine, we really went through a bit of a roller coaster this year. And, it's been a challenge. And I'm sure you guys are feeling the same way when it comes to kind of following these trends of, Bitcoin administrations coming into power. It's like, oh, are we talking about governments now? I thought we were cypherpunks, right?
Right.
And then treasury companies, adopting like, oh, we're praising Wall Street for, custodying our Bitcoins. Like, I thought we were all about self-custody. So it's been this very difficult sort of wrestling that we've had internally, trying to both just objectively cover what's going on, because there's just crazy adoption happening everywhere, all at the same time.
Yeah.
But then also trying to explain to readers how they should be thinking about it. I mean, that's a very loaded thing to do, right? And ultimately where we come down on a lot of this is, and we have very varied, viewpoints on this within Bitcoin Magazine. But where I come down on it, at least, is that, Bitcoin is taking a path, right? We all believe in hyper-Bitcoinization, and we believe that at the end of the day, every single person, government, institution, company will own Bitcoin and will use it in their day-to-day lives, right? That's our mission, that's our goal, that's where we think this is all headed. And the question is, how does it get there? And I think this year was a banner year for answering that question. And you see for the first time, like, okay, how exactly are institutions buying and holding Bitcoin? How exactly are companies starting to use it as a reserve asset? How exactly are governments going to be active participants in the market? And it's both exciting, and then it's also like, okay, well, as all of that happens, how do we also retain what's special about Bitcoin and make sure that the incremental user understands the amazing tool that they've adopted, and they understand the true power and the purpose of it, so that never gets diluted out of the conversation.
Very, very cool. How do you personally view that? Because I've asked other people, like you have this like rise of, obviously the institutions are here, right? And so you have a lot of institutional capital coming in, governments buying lots of Bitcoin. Do you worry that like the so-called suit coiners are gonna like take over and have all the Bitcoin?
No, we are taking over the suit coiners. All right, this is what's happening. Everyone's like worried Wall Street's going to co-opt Bitcoin. No, Bitcoin is co-opting Wall Street. And what you're seeing right now, what you're seeing is, these institutions are basically saying, like, how can I outperform the S&P by adding Bitcoin to my portfolio, right? And as they continue to get more familiar with Bitcoin, as they continue to buy and hold it and use it and grow it, the conversation will naturally shift from how do I outperform the S&P to how do I outperform Bitcoin? Bitcoin is the hurdle rate. And once that happens, once that transformation happens in Wall Street, the king will have come home, let's say, and you'll see the majority of Wall Street strategies will be a Bitcoin denominated one, a Bitcoin alpha one, and that's going to be a tremendous boon for Bitcoin, and it'll just take time to get there. Like we're not there yet, but slowly but surely we'll get there.
Okay, great. All right, let's look at 2025 more closely. I'm just going to take out little pieces here and there.
Sure.
In my opinion, the U.S. was kind of the center of of attention and most of the stories of the year. First, do you agree with that?
I mean, it's been a crazy year for Bitcoin in the U.S.
Yeah.
There's no two ways about it.
Yeah.
So yeah, I would agree.
Yeah, and obviously this is centered around Trump coming in and this kind of, as you said earlier, this 180 towards how the U.S. government kind of is in relationship to Bitcoin. Was there any major U.S. government news story that you thought was kind of the biggest one? Was it like the Genius Act? Was it something else? Was it the Bitcoin Reserve?
We freed Ross.
Yeah.
I mean, it starts and stops right there. I had told the team, if we had never gotten a strategic reserve, if we had never gotten, a pro Bitcoin regulatory environment, if the only thing that happened was that Ross got to walk free and hug his mom again, we would have done an amazing job. And that all of this has happened alongside that has been so amazing. And it's just spoken to sort of the authentic want from this administration to create like a pro Bitcoin environment. But yeah, freeing Ross was the biggest mission of all.
And it was the biggest mission because it really kind of, I guess in some ways, you think it symbolizes this true pivot towards embracing.
Absolutely. It was a symbolic thing. Ross was the first political prisoner of Bitcoin. And every day that he remained behind bars for, a nonviolent crime was a day that, it was a slap in the face to our industry. And there's no stronger signal, I think, that we could send than letting him go home. Mm-hmm. So, I mean, it's big. And the battle's not won, right? You have Samurai now that we have to do something about. Yeah. And, I think the industry is starting to rally around that, and hopefully we can make something happen. But it will never be okay to arrest Bitcoiners for increasing the freedom of humanity. That's they're writing code. Code is speech. They shouldn't be going to jail for that, period.
It's pretty wild.
Yeah.
To be honest.
Yeah.
It is. And if something isn't done, that's like the dark path, really, honestly.
Absolutely.
Okay, yeah. All right. The institutions are here, right? Like we've been wanting and saying maybe aspirationally for a long time. The institutions are coming. They're
Absolutely.
here. That's done.
They're like right over there. Yeah.
Right over here. They're all around. I mean, when you have like Vanguard, like the laggers, Vanguard and Bank of America and Charles Schwab kind of making announcements last week, it's obviously been a banner year for institutional adoption. Were you surprised at how much the institutions came into the space in 2025?
No.
Really?
Not at all.
Wow. Okay.
Honestly.
Why is that?
Why did it take so long? All you have is the best performing asset in the history of mankind. And it only took them 15 years to finally get it. Come on, guys. This is why we're lapping you right now. But yeah, I mean, it was still exciting to see. Yeah. It was a massive validation. I mean, you got to think about all of us have been in here for me, 8.5 years.
Yeah.
In 8.5 years, I've been the crazy guy in the corner of the party being like, you guys don't know about Bitcoin, you know, like you're not thinking about the right things. And they're like, okay, Bitcoin dude, like, you know, go play with your Bitcoins, right? Yeah, now you've got every major financial institution that is dedicating a massive, you know, a meaningful portion of their portfolio to Bitcoin, and they're enhancing their portfolio returns by doing it. And I think, you know, right now maybe it's 1%, 2%, 4%. You know, call me when it's 80%.
Yeah, right. Also, I like that meme. That's a good meme.
In the corner of
the corner
yeah.
of the party, right?
Yeah.
Like, yeah.
I've been in that corner for 8 years, man. Now I'm in the middle of the dance floor.
Yeah. I mean, you know, the holidays are coming up. I'm going to be the meme where the guy's in the basement and be talking to my family about, hey, you know,
oh yeah, are you having fun down there?
Yeah. The institutions are coming to, you know, yeah, to my family. Okay. Great. Let's look at another thing from this year: corporate adoption. Right, there's a lot of corporate adoption this year. Obviously, this has been a big year for that. I was wondering if especially from BTC Incorporated's perspective, you have a lot more visibility on like probably businesses and executives. How has the conversation like shifted? Or are you just having more conversations this year with corporations and companies than like a couple of years ago? Like, has it just been like an absolute explosion?
Yeah, you know, what I think is crazy about the corporate Bitcoin adoption narrative is that all we saw this year was every company that decided to put Bitcoin on their balance sheet, their stock just exploded in price. And so then they started printing more shares and buying more Bitcoin with it. And it was literally an infinite money glitch. And the only thing that's crazy about that to me is that every single company didn't drop everything they were doing and pursue that for as long as the trade was there. I mean, it was a free money glitch for all companies. And that's because the market was telling you, hey, we want to see companies use Bitcoin as a savings tool, right? That was the clear signal that was sent to the market. And for some reason, only a handful of companies picked up on that. And actually did anything about it. And so, you know, you saw this like crazy fervor of you know, mania around that. That's cooled off. Some of these companies managed to stack, you know, thousands of Bitcoin in the process.
Yeah.
Kudos to them.
Yeah.
That's not going to happen again in that way, you know. But what you will see is the continued rewarding by the market of any company that wants to have a corporate adoption strategy, have a Bitcoin reserve as part of their assets. Like, that's going to continue to be seen very favorably, and that will continue to be an incentive for more corporate adoption to occur in 2026 and beyond.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, the market went up and went down, and then now you also have like a tax. Okay, I shouldn't say a tax. Let's be generous. You have new announcements about like MSCI on this thing as well, which one could say is maybe just an attack. But so it's interesting to me to see how perhaps TradFi is reacting to this.
Yeah. Well, you know, what I think you're seeing right now, and I wouldn't want to speculate on exactly why MSCI was kind of trying to talk about maybe delisting MicroStrategy from their index. All I will say, the timing of it is very strange. I mean, I think you saw where someone went back and found like the very first memo that was sent out about that was October 10th, which was the same day that we had the crazy wick down in the $19 billion in liquidation. So was that a coincidence? It's possible. It's possible that was a coincidence. But, you know, what I think that you're probably seeing there is, you know, there is an interest to make sure that investors are protected. And I'm sure that there's some boomers at you know, some of these places that still haven't understood what Bitcoin is. And they're like, oh, Bitcoin is all of a sudden like showing up all around us. How do we protect people from it? You know, like that's my, you know, maybe naive, but that's my like hopeful take on all of it. And then, you know, if you wanted to get like a more tinfoil hat, you would just say, okay, JP Morgan, they haven't figured out what their play is. They're seeing MicroStrategy just like dominate, and they're probably going to, you know, delist it and then launch their own thing shortly thereafter.
Oh, that would be diabolical.
I wouldn't be surprised.
Yeah. Okay, a couple more. This year, there was a lot of talk about the 4-year cycle. Five more minutes. Is that cool?
Yeah, we're good.
There's a lot of talk about the 4-year cycle because this is supposed to be the end of the 4-year cycle this year, 2025.
Yeah.
What do you think? Is the end of 4-year cycle? Is 4-year cycle dead? Did it ever exist?
You know, I think obviously it did exist, and a lot of it was due to the not the difficulty adjustment, the block reward adjustment, right? You know, the halving.
Yeah.
And what you see every year is that the halving is a less and less sort of force of the market, right? You know, like what does it mean if you're going from 1 Bitcoin per block to 0.5 Bitcoin per block versus when we went from 50 to 25? Of course, that was going to have massive supply shocks. Now we're mining the final, 1%, 5% of the supply thereabouts. It's all, you can look at all probably on Bitcoin.com. But anyway, like that is less of a force. And so there's less of this inherit to Bitcoin 4-year cycle structure, right? However, there exist other structures that kind of reinforce that 4-year cycle. Number one, the presidential elections. Number two, kind of short-term consumer debt cycles. Usually, you know, like you're kind of expanding for a couple of years and then you're, you know, kind of saving for a couple of years, paying off your debts. And that all of that has, I think, correlated really well all together at the same time.
Yeah.
And what's different about this time is, number one, the halving is less of an effect. But number two, we're going from a macro headwind to next year. Everyone's anticipating a very dovish macro environment from a monetary policy standpoint. And I think that is going to disrupt the natural 4-year cycle that Bitcoin sort of has. And I anticipate next year it will be a continuation of the bull market. And in fact, it could be a much bigger bull market than we've seen for the past couple of years.
Yeah. What do you make of the fact that, I mean, the news, if you just look at the news for this past year, if you like print it out, and you were to tell me that same news 3 years ago, I mean, it's kind of mind-boggling. And yet, the price, it looks like it's going to be flat to maybe slightly negative on the year. What's up with that?
Yeah, I mean, I think that you're just kind of looking at a bunch of short-term things that are happening. But what I will say is, like, the fundamentals have never been better because of all those headlines, because of everything that's happening. And so when I look forward to what's happening, you know, in 2026, I think that a lot of the fundamental forces behind what's been announced this year, for instance, a strategic reserve. Yeah, we have a strategic reserve, but there isn't the U.S. government buying Bitcoin and adding it to the strategic reserve yet, right? So at some point that's going to happen. And when that actually fundamentally happens, that will impact the market in a huge way that hasn't been felt yet. You know, all that we've had so far is just like the headline, there will be a strategic reserve, and then people speculating around that. And so I think that that's what you have to be on the lookout for is when do these headlines, when do these kind of changes in the structure of Bitcoin adoption in general start to actually manifest in buy orders of Bitcoin spot, right? And when that happens, you'll see this thing just absolutely take off again. And again, I think that we're still in the early phases of what this cycle, whether it's 4 years, 8 years, whatever, this cycle, we're in the very early stages of it.
Cool. All right, last question. Looking forward to 2026. What do you think is going to happen? Do you expect more institutional adoption, more corporations getting involved, governments and regulators giving more clarity? What else? Anything else?
All of the above. I mean, absolutely. You know, what I do expect is next year feels like a good year for a little bit of whiplash, you know, like a couple of negative headlines from other governments or from, you know, the other factions inside some of these governments. You know, like I think that 2025 has been a banner year. It felt like every headline that came out was another just reason to pop a bottle of champagne. And so, you know, there has to be a mean reversion to that. But at the same time, I think that will be met with a much stronger positive reaction in the market. And you'll see like bad news doesn't really get a negative reaction and good news gets an even bigger positive reaction. And so, you know, I think that there's plenty more to be done on the regulatory side. Obviously, we talked about like the Genius Act. Well, the Clarity Act needs to get done. There's a Bitcoin Act that's in the works right now. I would love to see. an act that's talking about eliminating capital gains taxes on de minimis transactions in the U.S., talking about eliminating double taxation on Bitcoin miners, many other things that can still be done in the U.S. and be very positive. I also think on the corporate adoption side, you're going to actually see a few more of these companies not try and do a MicroStrategy copycat, but convert some of their fiat that's just sitting on their bank account or on their balance sheet, convert it to Bitcoin. And so all of that I think will manifest next year.
Yeah. Sorry, one last follow-up question. Do you think it's going to be again a U.S. focused year?
I think that what will be the most healthy for Bitcoin is if there are more narratives coming out of other markets. And we're here in Abu Dhabi for a reason.
Yeah.
This is a massive market for Bitcoin. And I think Abu Dhabi is doing amazing things to kind of put itself forward as a place that Bitcoin companies should want to locate. And so I anticipate huge headlines from this region. I think Hong Kong and China, there is a narrative to be had there. Everyone's discounting China's banned Bitcoin for the past 2 decades or however, feel like longer than Bitcoin's been around. It's been banned in China. And the geopolitical game theory is starting to shake that, I think. And if I were China right now, I would be maybe revisiting that decision to ban Bitcoin and why not do a full 180 and compete to be the biggest Bitcoin holder, bigger than the U.S. I could see it. So, all these things I think are going to happen and at some point. And, the U.S. has been the center of the Bitcoin story for, I would say, basically since COVID.
Okay.
If you remember, pre-COVID, China was the center.
Yeah. Absolutely.
And so I think that you will see that start to migrate again. We've had our heyday in the U.S. It'll still be a massive market. It'll still probably be the biggest market, but I think a lot of growth is going to come from other markets as well.
That is very interesting. I remember those Chinese headlines.
Oh, yeah.
Before 2020, they would move the markets.
Oh, I mean, dude, all the hash power was over there. Most of the biggest exchanges were over there. BitMEX and Binance and FTX. All of those were out in Hong Kong or in China.
Yeah.
I mean, it's Huobi, KuCoin. Polonia, all of them were out there, right? There was just Coinbase and Kraken and Gemini in the US, right? And it's just those have exploded. But so, I think that we've gotten a little too used to the US dominating the Bitcoin market, and it'll be a really healthy signal when we start to see that, growth emerge in some of these other markets.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for your time. I appreciate it. And I hope you have a great rest of the conference and a good new year.
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year. All right, we're done. The last thing we're going to do is Graham and I are going to wrap up the conference, give our last thoughts. See you soon.
All right, we're here to wrap up our 2 days of live coverage at Bitcoin MENA in Abu Dhabi. David, what are your biggest takeaways from the 2 days of conference?
Okay, so the first one, which I talked about in the preview video, the vibes. I think my biggest takeaway is on that, which is no one really seems to care about the price, at least here, right? Like, so we've had all this great news this year. The price hasn't really done anything in a year. I think a lot of people, maybe most people on crypto Twitter are kind of upset about that and grumpy and yelling at each other. But at the conference, no one I talked to seemed to be affected by that at all, like whatsoever, which is kind of how I feel personally. So,
okay.
I don't know if you noticed that.
Yeah.
Did you?
No, absolutely. And actually, I think my biggest takeaway is it's quite similar, actually. This is going to sound kind of dumb, but my biggest takeaway is it's okay to be a Bitcoin believer, I guess. Like, like I met several people here who are like, they're all in on Bitcoin. Like people who are like 100% of my net worth is in Bitcoin.
Yeah.
And I don't know, like real Bitcoin believers. It was really nice to see because, these days, most people it seems like most people just treat Bitcoin as like part of their portfolio. It's an investment. I've got my 3% Bitcoin allocation or something.
Got to make sure I diversify.
But, I met several people who they have no doubt that Bitcoin's going to $1 million. They're here to stack as much stats as they can while they can. And I don't know, like and by the way, these people are very intelligent, like extremely knowledgeable. And when you meet these type of people in real life, I don't know, it just helps me personally build conviction. I'm not all in on Bitcoin, but it's part of my portfolio.
Your diversified portfolio.
But I'm like, it helps me to build conviction on that part of like my portfolio. And, I feel like, okay, I feel more comfortable with it, actually, just after having spoken to all these people. And besides that, you come to an event like this and you see just how big the industry is. Sometimes it's easy to forget. I'm sitting in my office all the time, just like scrolling through X, and there's a lot of Zoom and Bitcoin sometimes you're like, okay, it's just this niche thing, but you come here and you see like the real scale of it. You got like these massive mining companies, exchanges, huge exchanges, incredibly profitable exchanges, and like everyone's very confident about Bitcoin. And I don't know, it's just it has helped me build conviction. So I think that's my biggest takeaway.
I've got 3 more for you.
3 more?
Oh yeah.
All right.
That's okay.
I guess so.
I'm being allowed to have 3 more opinions.
Yeah.
It's very, very generous of my co-host. So number 2, just on the DATs, right? Like cooled off. No big booths or kind of crazy talks about it. People who are still like passionate and believe about it, like Dylan LeClaire, kind of admitting like, yeah, that got a little too hot. That was a little too wild. Mania. So that whole thing has that narrative has definitely changed.
Well, just to interject there, David, I just came from the Michael Saylor keynote.
Okay.
Listened to pretty much the whole thing. He is very much still all about, he's got, in classic Michael Saylor fashion, like the craziest amount of conviction. He's talking about digital Bitcoin banks, and the countries should turn their nation's reserve into Bitcoin and use that to pay out dividends to people. And he's talking about the strife and the strike and all the other things.
Strategy. Yeah. No, so I'm not saying that the people I talked to had abandoned DATs. But they were, again, like Dylan LeClaire. He works for Metaplanet. He wasn't like, yeah, I'm wrong. This is crap. No, it was more, but it was very measured. And it was like, yes, it got overheated and it was a little frothy, if you will.
Mm-hmm.
So I like that that to me is a little more comfortable feeling than you know what I'm talking about. So that's like to me a better place for that thing to be at. Whereas earlier in the year, as we talked about many times, the exuberance was just like, ooh, okay. So that to me was like a major difference than other earlier conferences in the year, especially in the first half.
Yeah.
The third thing is honestly,
wait, was that this?
So I had 1, 2,
Okay.
and this is now
Oh,
3,
I see.
right? Okay. So, I don't know if you felt this here at this one, but I feel like every Bitcoin conference I go to, it's like incrementally less maximalistic. I don't know if you feel that, right? Like, I mean, the Bitcoin Magazine news desk is sponsored by Crypto.com, right? Like, I feel like everyone is still like you said, 100%. You know, not everyone, but it's like, yes, Bitcoin is it, and you see maximalism, but it's not as like, it just gets like less strident and whatever over time. So that's something I kind of noticed.
Sure, I think that's a valid observation, and it's just natural.
Yeah.
There's the space just keeps growing. So.
Yeah. And then my last one is, I think maybe the most interesting, which is last year, everybody I felt like was scrambling to attract investment, get VCs or institutions or whatever to either give them money or like Bitcoin OGs to give them their Bitcoin. Right, you saw this with like layer 2s and all this kind of stuff. Again, speaking with a couple people this time, they're like, "No, we're not trying to look for money. We've got a lot of Bitcoin, and now we're trying to like use it." And I thought that was kind of refreshing, right? Like they're like, "Yeah, no, of course, don't get me wrong. We're not opposed to accepting people's money, but we're not like in what we were doing last year, you know." So now it's I think, again, that's also not, it's not healthy or anything, but it's just like a different phase, right? It really reflects like this past year, right? Like institutions and all these VCs and stuff have put more money into Bitcoin and Bitcoin infrastructure, Bitcoin different Bitcoin plays and stuff like that. And so now they're not in that phase, or a lot of them are not in that phase of maybe trying to build up their business, to get the money to build up their business. So they've got the money, they got the Bitcoin, and now they're like, yep, got to do something with it. And so they're now in this new thing. They're like, yeah, we're looking for partners, basically, right? That's what they were doing at the conference. So I thought that was pretty cool.
No, that is interesting. So yeah, seems like a sign that the space is maturing.
Yes.
All right. I think that wraps it up. So David, thank you for your insights as usual. And thanks to all our guests who joined us. And most importantly, thanks to everyone who listened. I see that pretty much certainly all of the golden tickets that we flashed up throughout the conference were claimed. So great to see that. And we'll be back with another live news desk in the new year. Looking forward to it. So that's it. We're going to sign off. Thanks everyone. We're out.